globe to bring you the constant variety of sport, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. This is ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Today on Wide World. Gymnastics like you've never seen it before. Costumes, music, and choreography. Featuring some of the sport's finest gymnasts, including Olympic gold medalist Boginskaya, who enjoys the creative freedom.
You can show, whatever you want, and I think the public will love it.
Professional gymnastics from the Reese's International Gymnastics Cup.
Hello everyone, I'm John Neighbor, along with Bart Connor and Kathy Johnson. Welcome to the beautiful metropolis of Portland, Oregon, at the foot of majestic Mount Hood. Today's coverage is something you've probably never seen before. It's professional gymnastics with music and costumes. It's the 1995 Reese's International Gymnastics Cup here at the Portland Coliseum. Today, top men and women from around the world will be competing on the varied apparatus for the crowd's attention and applause. Prize pool of $40,000 at stake, and the winner in each event gets $2,000. These athletes will be using their music and costumes along with powerhouse gymnastics performances in their attempt to impress the judges with showmanship and entertainment. Let's begin with a routine on the uneven bars starring Oksana Chusovitna from Uzbekistan. She's the defending champion from last year's Reese's Cup. Known mostly as a vaulter, she also earned a World Championship gold medal in the floor exercise. She's 19 years of age, 4 feet 10 inches tall, 85 pounds, and began gymnastics 12 years ago.
This really is the hardest event to incorporate costumes and music. It's certainly more challenging. This is perfect music for her. She is very aggressive on this event and noted for several skills in particular. This one coming up right here, full over the bar.
The judges aren't looking for the highest level of technical elements in these routines, but she sure has the difficulty in this one, doesn't she?
Absolutely. They're really looking for working with the music as she's doing right here. Very nice routine.
And the judges' score for Oksana, 9.4. Joining me, as always, is our gymnastics expert, Bart Connor. And Bart, this field is one of the most highly credentialed international fields in recent memory.
That's right, John, and we are in for one wild day of gymnastics. As you mentioned, it's entertainment. That's what the judges are looking for, and there are 58 world and Olympic medals represented here, and some of the greatest names ever in the sport. But the one everybody's waiting to see is 21-year-old Boginskaya, who herself won 14 world and Olympic medals. She's a wonderful performer, and that's what the judges are looking for here. They're not worried about technical requirements. They're worried about how well they play to the crowd. She will give us a treat, as will some of the other performers. Today, we're going to see gymnastics as we have never seen it before. I guarantee that.
Well, for many, how the judges come up with the scoring is somewhat confusing. To help us with a brief explanation, let's go to our other expert, Kathy Johnson.
There will be 3 judges, and each judge is only responsible for one category. The first one is worth 3 points. It's execution. And when you're dealing with world and Olympic medalists, believe me, their form and execution is pretty equal. Difficulty in combination. This is where we'll start seeing a separation because some of the gymnasts are doing a little bit more difficulty in their routines. Exercise presentation. This is going to be the big difference. This is the crowd appeal, the creativity, using music, using costumes. And this is where I think we're going to see a huge difference. And then, of course, the bonus points. And it's worth up to 1 point, but all 3 judges have to agree on whether or not they deserve bonus for doing something extraordinary.
Thanks a lot, Kathy. Still to come, routines on the floor by 1994 U.S. Male Gymnast of the Year, Scotty Keswick. And two of America's brightest Olympic hopes, high school senior Amanda Borden and young Dominique Moceanu. And American John Roethlisberger, who claims he's got a secret stunt up his sleeve on the floor exercise.
I got a little extra surprise that you'll have to see the routine, because I'm telling myself, are you really going to do that? And every morning I wake up and I'm like, no, you got to change that. But I'm going to do it, and it's a little bit crazy for me, but you got to watch it. It's going to be fun.
ABC's Wide World of Sports, brought to you by Hershey's, the great American chocolate company. Budget Rent-A-Car, now more than ever, the smart money is on budget. McDonald's, have you had your break today? And the NASDAQ stock market, the stock market for the next 100 years.
Welcome back to the Portland Coliseum, where America's top male gymnast at the last Olympic trials, Scotty Keswick, has donned his Charlie Chaplin garb for this routine on the floor exercise.
Please welcome now from UCLA, Scott Keswick.
I got to tell you, this is great to see Scott Keswick loosen up a little bit. He's so uptight and intense in competition. Sometimes that causes him trouble. Maybe this pro format is just the right thing for him. Charlie Chaplin. The normal floor routine for the men is barely over a minute. In the pro format, the gymnasts have as long as 2.5 minutes to do their exercise. Charlie Chaplin was good, but he could never do that. Nice work. The Thomas flares, spindling up to a handstand.
And he stayed right in the circle.
Oh,
wow!
My goodness. The judges are going to love that. Combining a little difficulty with a little theatricality.
This is absolutely delightful. It's great seeing other sides of their personality that you just don't get to see.
And you would never expect to see something like this from Scott Keswick. Good job. You know, even though this pro format includes entertainment, this may be just what the U.S. men's team needs. A little showmanship. Keep in mind that even though they're entertaining the crowd with costumes and choreography, the gymnastics is world class. That's great stuff.
And the judges award a 9.65 to the man who finished 13th at the 94 World Championships in the all-around. You can't tell by looking at him, but our next performer on the floor is Paul O'Neill, who told us earlier he likes this pro format because he gets to do pretty much what he wants to.
For the World Championships, I think, well, what's going to get me a medal? What do I need? What difficulty do I need? What's the international trend right now? For something like this, it's, well, what pleases the crowd? What pleases the kids? What's going to be fun for everybody?
I talked to one of the judges before and I said, what kind of difficulty requirements are you challenging the gymnast to do here? And he said, anything that's hard goes. Like a double full in a gorilla suit, that's hard. The monkeys.
Oh, whoa, that's hard.
There it is, a double full. Here's some of that gorilla strength. Look at this. He's going to lower all the way down to what they call a Maltese. He is suspended over that floor.
That is the lowest Maltese I've ever seen. Look at this, push-ups.
Paul has 3 kids back at home in North Dakota. He said he showed some of his routines to his kids and they seemed to like it, so he said, I'm going to go with them.
Oh, that was fantastic.
And one very tired gorilla earns a 9.6 from the judges. Coming up, one of Bella Caroli's newest proteges after this. Our next competitor is the youngest qualifier ever at the U.S. Junior Nationals. She's now 13 and trains with Bella Caroli in Houston. Remember the name Dominique Moceanu. She's likely to be on the 1996 U.S. Olympic team.
And so many people are excited about Bella Caroli's return to coaching this high level of gymnastics. Of course, he brought us Nadia Comaneci, Mary Lou Retton, and Kim Zmeskal. And after the 92 games, he took a short retirement. And what brought him back was the chance to work with Dominique and also Kim Zmeskal and Svetlana Boginskaya, 19 and 21 years of age. He thinks that's what gymnastics needs, is to keep those stars in the sport. Watch the amplitude in this routine. Everything is so big.
Certainly one of the bright hopes for the U.S. team over the next couple of years, including the Olympics in Atlanta. Good to see she can have a little fun with gymnastics, too. You always see the kids so intense and uptight.
Watch this dismount. High double layout. We're going to see a lot more of her.
And the judges were purring over that routine, a 9.75 for Dominique. Well, earlier he promised us something special, and now John Roethlisberger gets to deliver. By wearing Jim Carrey's green mask, I'm sure this is going to bring out John's other personality.
Ladies and gentlemen from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and the University of Minnesota, please welcome 3-time NCAA champion. Here's John Roethlisberger.
He said before, you're not going to believe what I'm going to do on the floor. In fact, I don't believe what I'm going to do on the floor.
He said he was going to go out on a limb. I think this is way out there on the limb.
He sought out his friends Ken Allen and Missy Allen to choreograph this routine. Look out!
Boy, is she on a ride. Look at this.
Come to think of it, she's actually better than he is because she's doing everything backwards.
I think this is going to be something for him to show his grandkids. How do you think she feels? Oh, that was great. Unbelievable.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Mr. and Mrs. John Roethlisberger.
And the very entertaining routine of John Roethlisberger earns a 9.7 from these judges. Let's take a look at the results of our first two events. Mr. and Mrs. Roethlisberger lead the American sweep, followed by Charlie Chaplin and the Gorilla. In the women's competition, the 13-year-old wins the gold, a tie for second place. And the large statue of Portlandia overlooks the people walking through downtown Portland. We'll be back with more great gymnastics after this.
You're watching ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Welcome back. Bart Connor prepared us for our next routine at the top of the program. For almost a decade, she's been Europe's queen of the sport. 8 gold medals in world and Olympic action. Svetlana Boginskaya on beam.
I have really been looking forward to this performance. She is sheer perfection on this event, from the tips of her fingers to the tips of her toes. She's so dramatic. It's perfect for this event.
She's going to go for a very difficult mount as well.
It is obvious that Svetlana would like to make her 3rd Olympic team. She's training in Houston with Bella Caroli, along with Kim Zameskel and Dominique Mochanu. And she's still performing a very high level of difficulty, as you'll see right here.
Good.
Loads of difficulty in this routine.
Nice departure from traditional gymnastics, because you don't normally see this kind of expression on balance beam.
Watch this if she does it. A double turn. Ooh, oh, good cover with the music. That skill is so risky. This is one of my favorite parts right here.
She loves living and training in the United States, and though she'd love to perform for the U.S. team, most likely it'll be for Belarus in Atlanta.
Judges marks 9.8 for Svetlana. She gets a hug from Bella Caroli, her new coach, down in Houston. Next, he does whatever a spider can. We last saw this man wearing a gorilla suit. Paul O'Neill on the apparatus he won a silver medal on at the last World Championships.
Well, we're definitely in for a display of strength that few people have ever seen before. Paul has a move in this routine that's going to blow you away.
Here comes the Spider-Man. Is he strong? Listen, bud. He's got radioactive blood. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead. Hey there.
Inverted iron cross, arms straight to the side. Watch this move here. A Maltese, press to a flange, and now watch, he turns and does an Olympic Maltese. Unbelievable. Just to show you how easy it is.
Is he strong? Listen up. He's got radioactive blood. He's winning.
The Iron Cross position is sort of synonymous for men's gymnastics. Look at the variations he shows here. That's the Olympic Maltese cross. I asked him how that feels, and he says it totally kills my elbow and shoulder. How's this for a nice touch on an Iron Cross?
Taking it very much in stride, the Spider-Man earns a 9.7 from the judges, and therefore Paul O'Neill leads the United States in a first through fourth place sweep on the still rings. Over on the balance beam, to no one's big surprise, Svetlana Boginskaya wins the gold. Top American finish, Dominique Moceanu in third. Lots more to come when we return to the Reese's International Gymnastics Cup for more fun and frolic on the women's floor exercise and the men's high bar.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Almond joys got nuts, mine don't, because sometimes you feel like a, sometimes you...
She made Olympic history in 1976 and changed the sport of gymnastics forever. More than a decade later, she made a dramatic escape from communist Romania. Now, this sporting legend makes an emotional trip back to her homeland for a reunion with her family and to perform for her countrymen for the first time in 10 years. ABC's Wide World of Sports presents Nadja Komenic, Return to Romania, after the Bud Light Championship next Saturday on ABC Sports.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Reese's International Gymnastics Cup for more of our coverage of professional gymnastics with the added flair of soundtracks and colorful costumes. We're back in Portland. John Neighbor with Bart Connor and Kathy Johnson coming up the final two apparatus. It's the women's floor exercise and the men's high bar. And Kathy, I have to ask you, the floor ex has included music historically. How will that change here?
I think it's going to make it easier for the women to kind of embellish on that theme. They'll be great on the floor exercise. And if I have to pick a highlight, I think it's going to be Svetlana Boginskaya, and you'll see why.
Ooh, something to look forward to. Now, in the men's competition, the high bar has always been one of the most eagerly anticipated events because of the danger the release moves and the height from the ground. How are they going to do it here?
No matter what the format is, high bar is a great event. You're right. I've been really impressed with what the guys have come up with here today in terms of creativity. Some have gone with the comedy route, some have gone more serious, but we're in for a treat. The high bar is always great.
Now, while we were away, a couple of other events took place. Let's take a look at some highlights.
The champion on the pommel horse is 29-year-old Valentin Mogilny from Ukraine. He showed why he's still one of the best in the world on the pommel horse, with his very elegant and smooth lines and tons of difficulty. He was also the champion on the parallel bars. His wife, Olga Bicharova, helped him put together these routines with that unconventional dismount. Olga herself was a 1981 world all-around champion from Russia.
So let's take a moment to look at the final results of those two apparatus. Coming up next, the men's high bar, we spoke with American John Roethlisberger about his opinions of this professional format.
I think it's a great direction for gymnastics. I think skating has been very successful with a lot of these types of competitions, and I think it'll keep really excellent gymnasts who would have otherwise, retired, like the Bilazurchevs and the Novikovs and things like that. It's going to keep them in the sport a lot longer, and I think it's going to benefit the fans a tremendous amount.
Well, remember how entertaining he was with his dance partner on the floor exercise? We'll listen to his opening lip sync to the soundtrack from the movie Young Einstein.
Music theory based on four bars, all reaches bar with a backbeat. In that state, gravity will roll down.
Therefore, the body motion must rock to the upbeat. A new musical theory. Roll and rock.
I gotta tell you, John Roethlisberger has always been known as a consistent performer for the U.S. team with no real spectacular style, but he has just turned on here, much like Valerie Liukin a couple of years ago in the Subaru World Open. I just can't believe how much fun he's having with this kind of format, and I didn't think he had it in him.
Who would have imagined? There are very few gymnasts who take gymnastics as seriously as John does in competition, so it is wonderful to see him have a whole lot of fun.
Now keep in mind, he has to do a rather dangerous high bar routine now after clowning around before he goes up. Watch this sequence. Starts with the one arms. He turns and he'll do a release move. Oh!
It really is the hardest part of this competition. Those judges are looking for a high level of difficulty, good form, and they want entertainment too. They got it. Oh, she's back. He is going to sleep well tonight. He's got to be exhausted.
A 9.7 for John Roethlisberger. We'll be back as the women take to the floor exercise in just a moment. Welcome back. Now we move over to the floor exercise where 17-year-old Amanda Borden is getting ready. She's been a member of the last 3 U.S. World Championship teams. She's planning to head off to Georgia right after the Olympics.
Yes, I say come over, baby. Baby, you can't go wrong. We ain't faking. Oh, I'm taking no.
I think she should give him their gum. There you go. I think that's bribery. That was just to get your attention. Here's the real stuff. Watch this opening tumbling run. Arabian double front, perfect landing.
She wowed him recently in Dortmund at the World Gymnastics Championships with this routine. Like such a welcome departure. Every time we see the kids in competition, so much pressure, so much on the line, and here they're just having a good time.
You get so caught up in the entertainment of it, you almost forget how difficult the routines are. She had it all.
And as the homecoming queen picks up her chewing gum, the judges return a verdict of 9.9, the highest marks of the day. Bella Caroli used to be accused of keeping his gymnasts from having fun, but his current protege, Dominic Moceanu, disagrees.
I like to compete like this. It's really fun. The audience loves this stuff, and I love competing. That's fun, and the hard work is also, but that's about it.
And remember, she's just 13.
as I have a smile ear to ear throughout this whole routine. So much talent, so much charm. This audience loves her.
Bogianu, a 9.65 from the judges. We'll see Bella Caroli's other entry here in Portland when we return as the Queen of the Beam makes a much-anticipated appearance on the floor.
You're watching ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Coming up on the floor is the 21-year-old Belarusian who recently relocated to Bella Caroli's gym in Houston. Svetlana Boginskaya has for years stood head and shoulders above the gymnastics crowd. Her long, smooth lines and mature grace were often contrasted with the tight, hard, powerful style of the likes of Kim Zmeskal. At the world and Olympic level, these two were often pitted against each other in how they soared and how they scored. Their rivalry kept gymnastics fans on the edge of their seats. Kim Zmeskal of the United States and Svetlana Boginskaya of Belarus in the former Soviet Union kept the Cold War going on beam and parallel bars all over the world. Now, the unthinkable has happened. The Cold War has ended, and in Bella Caroli's gym in Houston, the former rivals are training for the comeback of their lives together.
I think a lot of this stuff between Svetlana and I was kind of built up higher than it really was. Because like I was Russian, she was American, and it was competitive.
In a sport where youth is revered, Zmeskal and Boginskaya have come out of retirement and convinced Bella Caroli to guide them to the top at the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta. For Bella, the potential for gold isn't the important thing.
We are shooting for something what the gymnastic needs and the sport needs, to see the idols, the great stars back performing.
For Kim Zmeskal, getting to Atlanta could be a second chance.
I want to be satisfied with my performances. It's not so much that I didn't go out and win the gold medal in Barcelona. It was that I had made some mistakes that I shouldn't have made.
And they don't have to look too far over their shoulders to see the future of gymnastics gaining on them in the person of 13-year-old Dominique Moceanu.
I look up to them a lot. They're really good, and that's good that they keep doing it as long as they like it.
The biggest winner already may be the young woman from Belarus.
I'm the happiest person in the world because I have chance to be here to work out with like best coaches in the world and just talk to people, just to do things, enjoy it life.
And let's see if Boginskaya can enjoy her next performance on the floor exercise.
Watch the little things in this routine. Her expression, just the way she walks. She opens with an incredible first tumbling run. Double back, punch front. Complete with smile.
Stella Caroli is hoping that Svetlana, with her mature style, can do for gymnastics what Katarina Witt did for figure skating at the '94 Olympics in Lillehammer. Although, like Katarina, Svetlana has a very slim chance of winning a medal in Atlanta, just her presence alone would be terrific for the sport.
She doesn't just dance to the music, she feels it. Wonderful performance.
A very sultry Svetlana Boginskaya earns a 9.75, good for second place in this event. When we come back, the final routine of the meet from already a two-event winner here, Valentine McGillney.
Olga.
Now watch this, watch this.
Nadia.
And it is a perfect kiss.
Mary Lou.
What a gymnast.
Gymnastics' greatest stars in their greatest moments. Kathy Rigby, Kurt Thomas, Bart Connor.
Maybe a gold medal.
Call 1-800-4ABC-VCR and a piece of gymnastics history can be yours. That's 1-800-4ABC-VCR. Only $24.98 plus $3.95 shipping.
Welcome back to the Reese's International Gymnastics Cup at the Portland Coliseum for our final routine. Valentine McGillney, already a winner in two events here, turns in a somewhat darker performance to a tune from The Phantom of the Opera.
What a contrast to someone like John Roethlisberger, who chose to use comedy throughout his performances today. Nearly every routine that McGillney has chosen is much more dramatic, much more theatrical. Just a completely different attitude.
Equally effective.
Exactly.
Wow, what a costume.
You're right, Kathy, and imagine if they had some spotlights and some more theatrical staging. Just think how much better this whole pro format would be. See if those wings help him fly this dismount. Excellent. Gonna do another sequence here. The gymnasts have 2.5 minutes, so they're encouraged to have a little fun with this. Oh, wow. Yeah, great discipline.
That's what those wings are for.
The official mark for McGillney, a 9.6. That's good enough for second place behind American Roethlisberger's Young Einstein. In the floor exercise, Amanda Borden defeats Svetlana Boginskaya. As we take a look at the money results, Valentine McGillney the top along with Svetlana Boginskaya. So now for this pro format, the competition comes to a close. On behalf of Bart Connor and Kathy Johnson, I'm John Neighbors saying thanks for joining us and so long from Portland, Oregon.
This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.